I think exit planning is not something that owners do in their business when they go to sell their companies. It's something that comes alive in their company every single day. So it's not just something that perhaps a baby boomer business owner might want to concentrate on 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years before they sell their company. It's something that somebody like me, a 37-year-old entrepreneur, can live by their entire career as a business owner. Welcome to the Exit Is Now podcast with me, your host, Scott Snider. Exit Is Now is all about delivering real-life stories with real business owners and their expert advisors, showcasing value acceleration. How do they grow value in their companies over time while aligning business, personal, and financial goals, living a better personal and professional life? What that means is, what does it take to create something of significance, not just something that's year over year successful? I think many entrepreneurs, many business owners, and their expert advisors feel that they have something of success. They have great customers, great employees. Some of the owners might be the heartbeat of their cultures. They've grown these businesses perhaps out of their garages or their sheds or their bedrooms. They might have owned these companies for 10, 20, maybe even 40 years. They have a strong P&L. They have a nice lifestyle. But when they go to actually sell or transition these companies to their employees or their families, they are kind of slapped across the face because for the first time in their life, somebody's calling their baby ugly. They're saying that it's not as successful as you thought it might be, that the value of your company might not be what you need it to be or what you thought it or what you thought it was. What they've been doing over those 10, 20, or even 40 years was growing something that was only successful, not something that was significant. So in this podcast, I want to showcase through my story as an entrepreneur, as somebody that has kind of grown up through the value acceleration methodology. I want to showcase to all of you what that looks like. How does value acceleration really come alive inside of a business? How does it truly balance the business, personal, and financial elements of a business owner's life? Heck, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years now. I'm an exited owner. I grew my first business or started my first business when I was just 16 years old, at the seat in my geometry class in high school. And from there, I went down the journey, and a more perhaps traditional journey of going to college. Went to college for a business degree, business administration with a concentration in entrepreneurship. That lasted me about a year before I dropped out of that first year of college and went over to a horticulture school. My business was a kind of a traditional landscape management, snow care, lawn care kind of business. And I went to ag school at the Ohio State University's Agricultural Technical Institute, where I began to major in landscape construction and landscape management. Well, that lasted me about another 2 years before I dropped out of that to spend all of my time growing my company. We made a nice run. And a few years after that, I got approached by kind of a corporate synergistic buyer, a competitor, if you will, that said, "Scott, we really like your people, your process, your equipment, and your clients. And have you ever thought about selling your business?" Well, oddly enough, my dad is a certified exit planning advisor, one of the first 100 CEPAs, a part of the Exit Planning Institute. And so I knew a little bit about what it meant to exit a business and transition. So I took him up on that offer, and over the course of a few months, we built an offer that was right for both of us. And I was able to sell my first company, nearly a 9 or 10-year run of growing it. Like many business owners who exit their company, I had my first exit planning lesson way early on in my life. When I was in my probably early or mid-20s is when I sold that company. And the first lesson I learned in exit planning, now I didn't really call it exit planning back then, but certainly as a part of what we're going to talk about on the show, is that I lost my identity. I really didn't know who I was without my business. I had let my business define who I was. So I spent about a year to kind of understand who I was before venturing into business with my father, Chris Snider, who's now the CEO of the Exit Planning Institute, the creator of the Value Acceleration Methodology, and the author of our book, Walking to Destiny, where he describes this value acceleration-centric lifestyle, or what he would call the value acceleration methodology. Now, flash forward about 2 years, we felt so passionate about value acceleration that we really wanted to kind of change the mindset of business owners, again, taking them from successful companies to very significant ones. We wanted to show them what that looks like. What I found when entering Dad's consulting company was that these owners really were not surrounded by a cross-functional and collaborative team with kind of a similar mindset. What I found, and I think what my dad saw too, is that many business owners had a really good attorney, a really good CPA, maybe a really good financial advisor, and maybe a sprinkling of other advisors along the road, but they weren't all cross-collaborative. They weren't all speaking the same type of language. The CPA was concentrated on the business. The attorney concentrated on a part of the business. The financial advisor concentrated on the personal financial side. No one ever coming together around one kind of common principle and common framework. And thus, Dad and I bought the Exit Planning Institute back in 2012, and we kind of began to reshape an industry, or certainly reshape a community and a credential. And we brought together the value acceleration methodology to do just that. Not only showcase how to align business, personal, and financial goals, but give a roadmap and a path, not just for the business owner on their teams, but for their advisory team as well, so that when they came around a table, they were all speaking the same language, all believed in the same common things. And we've been doing that ever since 2012. Now, today, I'm the president of the Exit Planning Institute. I'm a family business owner with my dad, and we're growing one of the biggest communities of professionals that serve business owners in value acceleration, again, coming from business, personal, and financial goals. The Exit Is Now podcast will take those professional advisors mixed with those business owners and showcase all of their stories. How is value acceleration truly coming to life? You could read the book, you could attend the classes, you could go to the conferences, but why I wanted to start the Exit Is Now podcast is not only did I want to showcase my own story as an entrepreneur, somebody that lives the value acceleration methodology every single day in their businesses, but I wanted to showcase some of the most important people in my life that have really showed me how to live a more value acceleration centric lifestyles and have showed their clients how to do it as well. I think exit planning is not something that owners do in their business when they go to sell their companies. It's something that comes alive in their company every single day. So it's not just something that perhaps a baby boomer business owner might want to concentrate on 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years before they sell their company. It's something that somebody like me, a 37-year-old entrepreneur, can live by their entire career as a business owner. And I wanted to showcase that story inside of our Exit Is Now podcast. So our show is really chock full of people that have shaped my company, the Exit Planning Institute, shaped me as an entrepreneur, and really it shaped me as a person that now is much more than just a business owner. And we're going to bring them in, sit them around our table here in our studio, and talk to them about all the different aspects that make up this, let's call it value acceleration centric lifestyle, or maybe make up this aspects of this balanced life, this concentration of business, personal, and financial goals. So you'll see everything from the people that work on the business side, the people that work on the financial planning side, people that work with family businesses. We'll also showcase people and culture. We'll talk about what makes good, strong systems and processes. We'll talk to family members of mine. We'll talk to employees here at the Exit Planning Institute, and we'll talk about how all of us, not just as business owners, but as business leaders, employees, functional advisors, and core advisors, how this whole thing comes together to kind of create this team or this ecosystem to help business owners grow more significant companies, hopefully like my own, that I'll showcase with you here on this show. Thanks for listening. Exit Is Now podcast will actually be a live podcast so we can showcase these real and authentic stories with my fellow business owners and their expert advisors. We go live on Wednesday, January 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with my father, Chris Snider, and go back to kind of where it all began. As I said, he's the creator of the methodology, my business partner today, and my father. So tune in live with us on LinkedIn and on Facebook, January 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't tune in live on Wednesday 11th, you can always grab the podcast on all of the regular podcast channels, Google Play, iHeart, Apple, and Spotify. And please subscribe at exitisnow.com. All the links will be in the show description below.